What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video, and yes, I forgot about Augmentation Evoker. I did. Completely forgot about him, and that's my bad. It's pretty funny, though. I don't even know what happened. I was just like, I just got to the Evoker section for the range DPS video, and I was like, Devastation. There it is. I just completely blanked on this. We are going to look at the 4-piece bonus for Augmentation Evoker coming in Season 2. The reason I'm doing a whole video just for Augmentation Evoker is because there's a couple of other important things too, and we're going to talk about that as well. So, yo guys, the Gnome would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe on the video. All right, thanks, bye. So, we're going to start with the big changes that are happening to Augmentation Evoker and then go into the tier set, and I want to hear from you guys in the comments below about this because there's a lot of big changes here that are meaningful, and I'm not an Augmentation Evoker player. I'm just not, right? So, I want to hear from you guys how this affects you in especially high Mythic Plus. That is the thing I am most interested in, is what's going to change there. So number one, there's a new talent, Rockfall. We'll get to that in a second. It makes the upheaval and power quicker and has a chance to give you Essence Burst. Very, very cool. It's I'll just show you right here. It's replacing this talent right here, which is now becoming a PvP talent, Seismic Slam. So you're going to be getting a better talent there. Okay. Number two, you're going to get closest clutch mates back. This is something that existed when Augmentation Evokers first came into the game, but now it has been gone for a long time. They're bringing it back. So Even Might and Breath of Aeons are 25% more effective when not in a raid. Why are they bringing this back? Because Even Might no longer affects tanks and healers. So this is the main reason that Augmentation Evokers were brought to high-end Mythic Plus keys, is because of their defensive bonus. And everybody was, I think I was confused for a long time about what that meant, and I think other people were too. Obviously, there are talents that you can bring that are going to help like your tank, like Blistering Scales, and you put a Chrono Shield on people, right? Whenever you do, damage or healing, whenever your allies with the temporal wounds from your Breath of Aeons, so especially during Breath of Aeons, you're giving shields to your allies. It's a small little bonus. That's not really what people are talking about. What they're talking about is the fact that your Even Might could affect tanks and healers. So you're giving tanks 5% or more main stat, and you're giving healers main stat, and that's making the healing spells stronger, and it's making the tank defensive spells stronger as well. Like Ignore Pain, right, is like bigger now because you're giving the tank strength, right? That is the main huge reason why Augmentation Evokers were brought, among other things. Of course, they have really good crowd control, knocking enemies up. They have things like Zephyr, which reduces AoE damage. There's other reasons, but that was the big Even Might reason. Now, that is gone. So Augmentation Evokers are now moving into a position where they are more like a DPS character than they have ever been before. And I personally think it's good for the game. But I'm curious what people think, the guys who are doing the really high-end keys, if this is going to completely destroy Augmentation Evokers in those high-end environments. Like, are you still going to want to bring them because of all the other utility that they bring, like an AoE stun from Breath of Aeons, or the knock-up, or the knockback, or the reduction in AoE damage, or the small healing and shielding they can do for the tank, or whatever. Like, I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think about that. So that is a huge difference now. Motes of Possibility have a higher chance to trigger, which is actually kind of cool. So that's the bottom right town here, right? So when you use Eruption, this might be relevant with the tier set bonus. We'll talk about that in a second. People aren't going to see. So there are just some quality of life things here. Seismic Slam move to PvP. So this is the big thing that's happening. Tanks and healers don't get the benefit anymore, and defensively, that means the value that Augmentation Evokers bring defensively is going down a little bit. Okay, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. Let's go to the tier set bonus for Season 2 of Augmentation Evoker. Your damaging spells have a chance to hit a jackpot, causing an upheaval at 100% effectiveness that does not knock enemies up. Breath of Aeons will always give you a jackpot or an upheaval. Now, 100% effectiveness, I don't really understand what this means entirely. If this means that I'm on Diabolist. Does this mean that it gets the full bonus from being empowered? Somebody tell me this in the comments down below. If it's 100% effectiveness, is it just the damage and the Even Might extension that you get, or is it also the empowered radius? Because that would be nice to give you a little bit more damage. But either way, whether it's fully empowered or not, the getting a free upheaval is really strong. This is going to extend your active even mites by 2 seconds for free. You're getting it for free all the time. Now, depending how often this procs, this, could be good or bad, obviously. If this is procking, I would say once every 15 seconds or so, then that's amazing. You're getting 2 extra seconds on your even mite every 15 seconds. That's 8 extra seconds on even mite over the course of a minute, depending on whatever. That could be really, really strong, in my opinion, because this is the main thing that you're trying to do, of course, as an Augmentation Evoker. You're trying to keep your even mite going for as long as possible. You cast even mite, you're doing eruption, you're doing breath of aeons, which adds another 5 seconds. Your eruption gives you 1 second, upheaval gives you 2 seconds. So getting free upheavals, the damage is great, but the extension on your even mite is the really big thing here, okay? Your upheavals have a 100% chance to grant Essence Burst. Eruptions cast with Essence Burst deal more damage. So this is your baseline spell that gives you 1 even mite, 1 more second on even mite. It's going to do more damage now, which is nice. So you're doing more damage. On top of that, though, you're getting Essence Burst, and this is really good. So this is going to allow you to cast more eruptions back to back to back, because there's already a lot of talents that interact with Essence Burst. If I can spell it right, burst. Like, there's already quite a few talents here that are going to help you with Essence Burst stuff. Which is really good. And even in the, I think in Scale Commander, there's some as well. Yeah, there's one here. So your Bombardment Burst will extend your bombardments. Your bombardments are going to do more damage. You can get cooldown reduction on your Breath of Aeons, and then you can use Breath of Aeons again to get more even mite uptime. So it all kind of cycles into itself. But getting free Essence Bursts from Upheaval is really good, because you're going to be getting free upheavals right here. So not only will you cast it yourself, you can go upheaval into eruption, and then you get a proc of upheaval and you do a free eruption, and then you do an eruption, and then you do an eruption, and it gives you, and then you cast living flame and you get an essence burst, and you do an eruption, and while you're in the middle of doing that eruption, you score a jackpot, and it gives you another upheaval, which is going to give you an essence burst. You do another eruption. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is going to start to really snowball, and potentially just roll the even mite buff time really high up there. Like, I don't know what percentages you're gonna maybe be able to get up to, but typically at the end of a key, people are looking at like 75% even mite uptime as like the very high benchmark. There are some people, I'm sure, who can go above that, but that's a pretty high bench to get to. If you can get there, you're doing pretty well, I would say, as an Augvoker. 75% uptime on even mite, but this might like absolutely get you there all the time now, and we might see even higher numbers depending on this cycle that I'm talking about. So this is also one of the 4-piece bonuses, one of the few 4-piece bonuses that just gives you extra an extra bonus without being related to the jackpot. It is related to the jackpot, but it's not tied to the jackpot completely. Like, look at BM Hunter. The 4-piece bonus for BM Hunter requires you to hit a jackpot or you get nothing, okay? But this one just says all of your upheavals, the procced ones and the regular ones, are going to give you Essence Burst. And I think that is very strong. So I would rank this pretty highly on my tier list. I would put this in the good category. I don't know if it's like great, because I don't play Augmentation Evoker enough. Let me know if you think this is like one of the best tier set bonuses in all of the range DPS classes, because I don't know. But I think it's very strong. I would definitely put it at the top of my good tier set category. That's where I would definitely land this thing here. In terms of hero talents, it also interacts, of course, as I said, with Scale Commander in a pretty big way. But we also have, I think, Eruption or Upheaval in here. Is it Upheaval? Yeah, it's Upheaval. So Upheaval gets the extra damage. So Upheavals deal 50% additional damage over. So if you're looking to just do more damage, you could be taking Chrono Warden. Obviously, you're going to take different hero trees for other reasons, but getting free Upheavals will also do 50% additional damage over 8 seconds. That's a lot more damage. And then, of course, if you're going to take Accretion, getting the free Essence Burst cast that I was talking about, you're going to keep casting them over and over and over again. They're going to reduce the remaining cooldown of Upheaval, which gets you back to it. So it's just a very, very good tier bonus, in my opinion, that allows you to cycle between Eruption and Upheaval in a very meaningful way, getting the Essence Burst casts, getting extra damage, and then ultimately extending your Eben Might really, really far. And we're going to have to wait and see how that percentage overall of how long Augmentation Evokers can keep their Eben Might buff going, because I think it could be pretty long with this bonus here. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I apologize again for missing Augmentation Evoker. I think this set is incredible. It might be one of the best sets out there for range DPS. It's certainly at the top of my good tier list section. It would absolutely be there. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, especially you guys who play this. Thank you so much again for watching. Love y'all. I'll see you in the next one.